People keep saying Democrats have a messaging problem, but they don't explain what the messaging problem is. Since by education, profession, and experience I am a communications expert, I'm going to break down the messaging problem and show you how Democrats can actually take advantage of it to win again. There are two components to a message. One is the message itself. That's the literal words you're using, the narrative you're weaving, and then the call to action. In an ideal world, this is all that matters. Like listening to a lecture in college, this is a transaction of information. And if the information is technically correct, then the outcome should be automatic and uncontroversial. But this is not an ideal world. And people are not robots. Most people need to be influenced. And that's something the left really struggles with because we don't want to feel like we're selling an idea because that feels like manipulation. We want to live in a fantasy world where the truth sells itself. Now, decades ago, that might have been easier. Politics used to be dry and boring. But with TV and reality TV and social media, the second component of messaging has become far more important. And that is the delivery. Your body language, tone of voice, the emotions you communicate. 50 years ago, these might have been 10 or 20% of the message. Now, it's 80 to 90%. And with Trump, pretty much 100%. The brutal fact is that for most Americans, we've gotten to a point where people would rather be lied to by a funny, beautiful, or charismatic person than be told the truth by a boring, ugly nerd. And this is the most true for people who are natural followers, because followers aren't listening to the policy details. They aren't thinking through the facts and the implications. They're making decisions based on how they feel, and how they feel is determined by your delivery, not your words. And this is true for two reasons. First, because Republicans have purposefully and systematically attacked academia, and second, because of the rise of entertainment culture. And this is why Democrats get so frustrated with Trump voters. Democrats are still listening for the message through the delivery, and sometimes in spite of the delivery, because some of the best ideas don't come from people who are great speakers. This is why we're able to listen to the fragmented, nonsensical ideas that are littered through Trump's erratic speeches. We recognize there's absolutely no substance in anything he says, and as a result, we cannot fathom how anyone could possibly support him. And the truth is so obvious. Well, the truth is obvious. They are not listening for or buying what Trump says. They are buying how he says it. This is why Trump can say he's going to do something awful, and then when he does the awful thing, his supporters are the only ones who are surprised by it. This is why he speaks the way he does. He intentionally confuses his audience so that they detach themselves from his words entirely. The fact is that Democrats and Republicans today qualify our leaders by different criteria. We listen for the message, they listen for the delivery. And we can use that to our advantage, because if they're only listening for the delivery, that is all we have to change. So stop trying to explain the specifics. It's a trap. They are trying to force us to stay in the boring nerd lane, because they understand what happens with people like FDR, JFK, and Barack Obama when progressive messaging lines up behind a progressive messenger. They lose the middle class for a generation.